Hello. So, one of Annette's particular passions is sprouting seeds, which she does regularly in the kitchen. And I get to be the beneficiary. So, a whole cornucopia of pleasures awaits me every day in terms of the different legumes and seeds that Annette works with. So, she's going to talk about what she does here, and you get to hear it.
Um, it's primarily beans and lentils here, and I'll tell you why that is, first and foremost. It's because we find that eating them is obviously beneficial for health. They are a good protein food. Although interestingly, about 30% of them is protein, just 4% is fat, and that leaves around 66% as carbohydrate. So a lot of people assume that they're high protein, which they are, but the balance is probably different from that's imagined. They're also really good for some of the minerals like zinc. They're a good source of zinc, and this is a nice way of getting protein rather than eating meat. In our opinion, this suits us very well. We do cook them sometimes. That's fine. They're nice, but they can be a little bit more nutritious if you sprout them. So I'll just show you what I've got here. These are already done. These have been harvested, and these are ready to eat. They're getting a bit long. They're lentils. They're just red lentils, and actually it's the lentils that are going on in here. Two different types of lentils happening in here at the moment. They'll be coming out quite soon. These here, nearly finished. Very nice. These are snow peas, and they're like, I guess they're like normal peas. I don't quite know what's exceptional about them, but they are lovely. We like these, don't we? Yeah. And in this one, chickpeas. Now, I will say that even though we sprout them, we tend to have them, when we eat them, we tend to have them steamed. So 5 to 10 minutes steaming. They are lovely. They're great for making hummus with, great for adding to any meal. We do a really nice meal with a kind of tomatoey paprika dressing. That's really enjoyable.
I think it's worth mentioning as well, because I know people have asked me this about chickpeas. That, well, do you have to soak them for a long time before you sprout them? And actually, the soaking, if you like, it's not necessary to soak them. Sprouting is part of the process that happens when they're subjected to water and allowed to germinate.
Well, yes, I mean, turning to this one now, this has actually got kohlrabi sprouts in, so they're more vegetable-like, so they're great with salad, and I'd never heard of them until recently. If you sprout something in here, you usually soak it in water, typically overnight, before you start doing the draining and rinsing. They're rinsed twice a day. There are holes in the top of that, so you can stand it up like that and let all the water drain away twice a day. With this, there's even less to do, really. They've got little, I don't know if you can see the little red, I don't know what you call them, little
plugs.
Plugs, yes, plugs are good. That's partially cover drainage holes. You just pour water through those and it goes right through to the bottom. So they're super easy. Going back to the reason for beans, although this isn't a reason, it's a reason that we've attached to it since, really. If you've heard of the blue zones, these are areas of 3 different continents where they found a concentration of centenarians who were living very healthily. And that's still the case, although they are dwindling a little bit as fast food restaurants move in, as they often do into these areas. Very small areas in places like Italy, Costa Rica, Greece. Where's the other one?
Okinawa.
Oh, Okinawa, of course, the famous one. Yeah, and there's one in the United States as well, but I won't go into that at the moment. And as I say, these people have been living healthily into their hundreds, 100 and whatever. And researchers wanted to find out what it was that they were doing, and looked at all sorts of aspects of their life. And there are loads of common things that they're doing in the way they move, the way they relax, the spirituality in their life, all sorts of aspects. The food is in itself a factor, that they eat fresh local produce, but there's nothing that links them. There's no one food that seems to link them together. They don't all eat the purple sweet potatoes that they're eating in Okinawa, for example. However, they do all eat legumes. It's the one unifying food, as far as I can tell, that's been discovered. And they really are superb. So if you like beans, get them, eat them. If you buy them dry, you get a whole bag full, and you get to. I know you've got to plan it a bit because you've got to soak them overnight before you cook them, or soak them before you sprout them, or put them in here so that happens automatically. But it's such a worthwhile thing to do, and then you've always got them on hand ready to use, and we love them. Yeah. Is there anything else you could say? I mean, what about it? Anything more about the protein side of it?
Well, I think it's worth bearing in mind that essentially they are all complete proteins, which means
fibre.
that. Sorry, did you want me to talk about protein or fibre?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that most protein doesn't have fibre in.
Yeah, so they're all complete proteins, meaning that they all contain the 8, sometimes 9 is mentioned, essential amino acids that we require. And therefore they are a complete food, so absolutely great nutrition.
Yeah.
So I think that's just about it, isn't it?
Containing fibre, unlike most protein foods, the typical protein foods that we first think of, they don't have.
No. I suppose the one downside is the fibre, because it can play havoc sometimes with one's let's say.
Yeah, say what?
I don't know, but
yeah,
I think
okay,
you know
let's
what
leave
I mean.
it there.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah,
that's it for today. Thank you.